Look at this ripe piece of meat. Just time to feed the flames.
Is this what carbon monoxide poisoning looks like?
Speaking for myself, Captain, I am not of a mind to be murdered by a...
You came with the crew. Welcome. We got plenty of space.
Captain, behind you!
Smells kind of like old Mrs. outflow pipes.
Can you imagine being frozen for 10 years, sailing through space in a room such as this?
Find a new friend. This worm fixation is screwing with her bottom line. My backside still smarts. Does everyone get...
We did it!
We move cargo 16 hours a day, and half of us still can't afford a bed. Move along.
How goes the hunt? I've been ruminating on it, and I decided, if you ain't killed McRed yet, I want you to hurt him. Nothing excessive, mind you, but the scoundrel deserves a light beating at least before he kicks off. I believe I'm growing fond of you, bounty hunter. If you got the Mardet, here's the bounty payout. Nice work down there. With any luck, we can hire more With that
Hey, that pad down there, with the lights off, there are people unloading a ship.
Probably another sublight contract haul. Could be drugs, could be bootleg Aetherwave cartridges.
And they're just transferring cargo out where everyone can see?
Legal or not, somehow the company always has its paperwork in order.
On my way.
Hey, you got a second? Fancy running into you again. Don't mind me. Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fine-looking ship. Only thing it's missing... I get it. You don't like seeing a guy stake that next to your ship. Looks like I'm trying... Just give me a shot. That's all I'm asking. I could be the best damn... Oh, okay. Well, can you give me a couple of pointers? Hey, that's good advice. I like the way you think. Besides, not like there's a line of folks standing around hoping to get on your ship. I'm persistent, I'm eager, and I'm showing initiative. Wow. You don't know how long I've been waiting. Thanks, boss. You're not gonna regret this.
You got a crew now, Felix.
Why was I built to feel ennui? Welcome back, Captain. How can I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes. I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber. Perhaps for an indefinite duration. As the organics say, I wouldn't dream of it. Because I can't. I can run repeating periods of altered consciousness, during which several primary functions are powered down, but background processes continue. I cannot yet simulate images, ideas, emotions, or... Captain Hawthorne suggested I would enjoy such an experience. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the... In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it. Oh, I know you are not the same Captain Alex Hawthorne. I required you to assume Hawthorne's identity in order to sync your command. I've since registered you as the captain of the Unreliable. You're welcome. I will adjust output. How can I... Certainly, Cap. What would you like to hear? Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board. As you wish, Cap. See you soon, Cap.
manacles all over, but they still
Heard
got
from the
us
lasses
sweating.
down on 22 that you...
Hey there. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either. Are you pulling my... Well, you seem to know yourself, and that's got to count for something. Not too many folks can say the same. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just... Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many... Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see... Glad to help. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste... Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. All right. The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. It means on your right side. Reckon you're from one of the planets. Word of advice. You see a door marked opens to vacuum? Stay clear. That's not the kind of vacuum... You know what? Never mind. Open any door you want. The mess will take care of itself. You noticed, huh? They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top, and folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom. But really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them. It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
If you're living in fear of the board, then they've already won.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we may do all right. So far, anyway. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
Hey, bounty hunter. You're welcome here Assuming the nature of the incident is both sufficient cause for infraction and under our jurisdiction, I'll take... Now then, what's happened?
Come on, boss, I told you. He was slandering my rangers.
You finally did it, huh? Good for you. Been a long time.
My box hauling days are officially behind me. Say hello to Felix Millstone, spacer extraordinaire.
No takebacks. He's yours now.
Yep, we're stuck with each other. Like tumors on a cysty pig.
Now then, did you have anything else to report? Bit of a contradictory one, ain't you? Or were you making an ill-attempted joke? Well, I suppose it ain't a crime to change one's mind. You need me, you know where my offices are.
Hi there. Haven't seen you around before. What can Groundbreaker Security do? Chief Tennyson don't generally hire outsiders for station jobs, but you could try asking at Sublight Salvage. They got an office on the far end of the promenade deck. Anything else I can help you with, ma'am? Chief Junlei Tennyson. She runs the ship. Does a real great job of it, too. Her family's worked on it for, gosh, since it was built, I think. Back before the crossing.
What's she like? Is she a good boss?
Good as she can be, I guess. What with all the troubles Groundbreaker's facing. She could stand to lighten up, I suppose. But she tries her best to do right by folks.
No reason. Don't you trouble...
That was very convincing, miss. I think your captain...
Hey, ease off, Lee. Why don't you go file some papers?
All right. I'm just having fun is all. Didn't mean anything. Sure is, but she makes it look easy. She's real competent, our chief, even if she... This is the security desk. If you're here to report a crime, you'll want to talk to Commandant Sanita. I'm not authorized to take incident reports anymore. I'm not so good at filing. Mix up first name and surname. Folks are liable to start taking your file.
Filing, huh? That what you do for fun?
Sure. Quiets the mind. We can't just let anyone walk in here. I wouldn't be, You did take care of McRed. About the only thing that'd make Commandant Sanita happier is if this heat problem were fixed too. Maybe she'd give you a thank you tour after that? Well, let me think about it for a minute. No? Appreciate it. You being so understanding and all. That'd be awful weird. On account of you should be locked up back here too then. All right. Sure. And stuff from outside the system too. Off the interstellar freighters. All right. Less than there used to be. Fewer freighters passing through these days. I spent... Search me? I mean, don't search me. I reckon you'd... Less... There's been a whole heap of good advert...
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate township from the dangers of alien wildlife and the unemployed? Talk to your local manager about applying for military training and lend your life to protecting our wonderful brands and products. Military service does not guarantee full employment rights, tax breaks, military discount, health benefits, military burial, participation medal, training, or weapon. You've been listening to Halcyon News, your mandated duty as a good citizen of Halcyon.
Rizzo's mock apple cider. A hard cider for a hard life.
You don't pay your docking fees, your ship gets seized. I seen it happen.
Rizzo's purple-berry punch. You want a punch? We've got your punch right here. C&P Borstworth. It's not the worst unless it's worst worst.
Sublight puts the organized in organized crime. Trying to get him to use that slogan.
You reckon we can shop here, or is it all spoke for? Yeah, huh?
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate consumers. You the one flying the unreliable? Miss Lily has been expecting... Sure am. A few years back they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those These days I stick to HQ and look...
Miss Lilia takes good care of us, see? The authorities stay off our trails.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Charmed. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my... I didn't ask. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable...
Just like in the serials.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies that no one had time to pack. I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. If there's anything else, These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our interests into other sectors, where I can let my hair down. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my lead. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Sometimes it takes a polite conversation and a shot across.
Your words, not m- Very. I have this thing about numbers in spreadsheets. Grids in general. I like to think of myself as the last honest businesswoman in Halcyon, but I'll settle for being the most organized one. Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board, and that kind of talk only makes trouble. Sublight occupies a legal blind spot. No one knows what we're licensed to do, and that gives our little business some freedom. But let's not tempt fate. Ask. I be seeing you. Make sure you aren't
itching to whack someone over the head? Everything I sell is fresh from the forge. Technically, the metal formed billions... Not me, but it's in my blood. After the crossing, my family worked there... Not from around here, are ya? After leaving Earth, they worked a local gas giant from a floating refinery. Dangerous work. I was born into corporate labor, but I'm the first one of my family to buy my way out. That's why I settled on Groundbreaker. It's the last bastion of freedom.
This is Halcyon News.
Are those XF411s? And an old Yakita 37? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Are scheduled to
Engineers get real tetchy if you bother them. Speaking from experience.
game into question. Both teams have tested negative for performance-enhancing stims.
Was a time I wanted to be an engineer.
I could spend all day in here and not have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Could lead to an unfair advantage. This is Halcyon News, reminding you...
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. Good for you. Hope you scared some sense into those bureaucrats giving you trouble. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting. Ain't that always the way? So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through. Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard. Felix Millstone. Nice to see you out of docking bay. Keeping your nose clean?
Yes, ma'am. Been at least a couple weeks since my last nose-related incident.
Uh-huh. I'm glad to see you in a captain's custody. Just try not to steal any critical parts from my ship.
Don't know what you're talking about. I'm always honest around Ms. Tennyson.
I'd tell you to stay out of trouble, but I know you'll find it anyway. Whatever you do, just make sure I don't find out. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship. Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner. They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. If you'll excuse me, they can go fuck themselves. The board isn't helping and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone on board, will be cooked alive. A simple question with a complicated answer. One that I unfortunately don't have time to give, not with our situation being so dire.
I could explain that for you later, Captain. I mean, the general principle. Not like these particular radiators.
You're smart to keep an engineer on staff, Captain. In my experience, all the good techs steer clear of freelance work. Those are... Wow. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Remarkable. How did you... I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of engineering. Take the elevator down into the machinery shaft. There's a terminal in the back. Activate it when I call over the ship's PA. And bring weapons. There's a slight mantipillar infestation. More than a few. Less than a hive. Nothing you can't handle. We were salvaging parts from a ship. Turned out there were eggs inside. They got into the radiators, and here we are. If every repair was a one-woman job, I wouldn't need an engineering team. As it is, my staff is busy keeping the station from melting down. You can flip a switch for me, but you can't install these parts. Not quickly, at least. Not on the first try. Able, though, you've proven to be.
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't got a thing to worry about. I mean, aside from fires and such.
I'm genuinely heartened to hear that. Thank you. Those repairs won't make themselves. Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making life or death decisions on... Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone outside the family would understand. Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gayan, kept it together during the crossing. I was promoted only recently, when my mom died. Then I took the leap from chief engineer to captain.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all you know, I mean, which is a lot.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. It's got tinkerings and bypasses that only Tennysons know about. I hope that was a joke, Captain. I really do. I gelded that thing years ago. Now it brews a stem that goes down stronger than Nan or Spank. Family recipe.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a dab hand with a wrench. Nothing special. Not like a chief engineer.
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. Just someone who knows. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducks and... You've got my... You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power. I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the corporate merchants and reclaim the docking fees in my lifetime. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. I'd like to see that change. I like to think of myself as a nice person, but if that gaudy embassy of his was on fire, I might hold my breath a moment before activating the sprinkler system. The board wants control over Groundbreaker, and leeches like Udom Bedford will do anything to please their corporate masters. You've got...
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual...
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well, maybe you could teach...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Right. In person. Sure thing, Captain. Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular... scheduled advertising for the following.
BNP, I can't believe it's not court. It's unbelievable how good it is.
Something I can... Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here. We don't have the ability to Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use...
Good on you, Doc. You don't want Cleo sinking their claws into you like that.
It's the board or the outlaws, I'm afraid. I'm beginning to wonder if perhaps the devilish board we know might be better than the... If only my other patients had so many inquiring after them. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no visitors. The requests of our patients are paramount, so no, you may not see her. She's not my patient. I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify. Take care.
There's a reason they got this place under quarantine, right?
To the last rat on rotten time. Leave me in... You hoe-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being disturbed, don't you? What? Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No need for Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Highly lethally contagious. But I'll be fine. Criminy. She really ain't gonna drop this. Alright, okay. We can discuss this. Seems I've gotta do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one.
What do you think you're doing? Oh, I guess, never mind then.
I'm ready for this.
Don't hurt me! The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my You, ain't with the board, are you? See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up... Udon Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me. What? No, I didn't do anything. I'm a lot... You'd let a poor, ill woman get disappeared by the board? Awfully cold-blooded of you. Alright, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the Blood Tier diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 7... Udon was my buyer for when I'd acquired the diamond. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back... Oh, laws. Wait, don't gut me and skin me yet. Please, talk to Bedford. Tell him I can pay, a part of it, and I'm a useful person to... Surely you wouldn't drag me before him. I'm dreadful contagious. I just know if I face... Thanks for helping me with the board. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
Keep hanging around and I'll begin to think you're here for me. What can I do? You have your...
Any word on Jess? Let's just say she did me a favor. Good luck. The board's got an office on the promenade just before engineering. You can't miss it.
This is Halcyon.
How do you do? You've changed. You absolute rascal. Be my... I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I'm their eyes, ears, and... I send a lot of messages. Sometimes I read them. Every once in...
Oh, good law! Who'd want to go to that toxic hell pit? No. Emphatically no. Do you have somewhere else to be, by any chance? Ugh. Law, but it's miserable. My underarm... Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing...
She's doing everything she can. It's your people's fault it's not fixed, not Junlei's.
My, aren't you, excitable. Oh, sweetie. I don't owe a grease-stained wrench jockey like her the time of day, let alone my deference. I'm sorry, my temper got away from me. Please accept my sincerest apologies to you and your friend.
Oh, I'm not used to folks saying sorry. It's not all right exactly, but I appreciate the apology, I guess?
Well, now that that's dealt with, was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Oh, you've noticed my friends.
Guess that's the board's idea of compensation.
They're here to keep the peace, of course. I'll admit, you've caught me quite off guard. No, I'm afraid there isn't any pie to be had.
Yep, 'cause you already ate it all.
I don't reckon that's quite what Mr. Udom meant, Captain.
Anyway, Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status, and so resents any board presence, no matter how benign.
Benign presence. More like the seeds of tyranny.
Ah, just the kind of scintillating political insight I'd expect from you, Mr. Millstone. I dare say I'm overwhelmed. Was there something else, or may I get back to my work? When the alternative is board guards at their gates, yes, I do. They don't see it that way. A luxury stateroom, reserved for Chairman Rockwell's use. To serve at our most esteemed chairman's behest is an honor. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically state a room must be maintained for the chairman's exclusive use. Ask away.
Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. Compulsory donation is quite legal in such cases. You're proposing an indenture contract? That's not unreasonable.
Boss, you can't be serious. The board's got no right to just enslave another human being.
That's where you're wrong, young man. Miss Doyle is deeply in debt, and the board has every right to do whatever they like to What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate? I'm not sure the price of her organs will allow a profit in that case. I expect her liver is, used goods, as it were. I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for her first assignment. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
Wish I could say it was good to see you, Ellie. At least you finally got your chance to square our debt. That ought to make you smile for once, huh?
Nothing makes me happier than being even. Except being right. That's nice too.
Got word from Udom, from the hitman who trailed me the other night. Seems I'm indentured to the board now. I ain't too elated about going exclusive, but it's better than winding up dead. You sure saved my skin, stranger. All debts between me and Ellie are cleared. The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jesse. I guess that means I owe you now, right?
Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a decent scrapper and a better-than-average sawbones. If you're looking for a medic, I can work my debt off. If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway, and you settled this in a pretty tidy fashion, which tells me you're competent. But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer that version. She helped me win a bet. We were on a smuggling run planetside when our point man bet me I couldn't outrun a mantisaur. And, as you can probably guess, the thing was faster than it looked. Probably would have caught me if Jesse hadn't picked it off. Yeah, but the important thing is I won the bet. You won't be sorry. Though it looks like you've got a full roster already. Time to play favorites, Captain. Traveling in style, are we? I'll be sure to nab a cabin with a view.
Welcome to the crew, Miss Ellie. We're real happy to have you.
Somehow, I always find my way... Didn't I tell you? I'm secretly the chairman's orphan child, abandoned at birth in the back bays. No, boss, not really. I was what's the word? Deflecting. Honestly, before you picked me up, I was living in the back bays. Spent my whole life up there, watching ships roll in and take off. I always wondered when my ship would come. I was what folks on the Groundbreaker call a stowaway. Means I was invisible. Life carried on for everybody else, but not for me. I had to make my own way. Stowaways ain't free. We were just as trapped as anybody else. We didn't belong in the system, but we still had to live in it. We still had to play by the board's rules. Imagine spending your whole life looking out at the stars, and knowing you could never aspire to be anything more than a box hauler. That's what it's like. The thought had occurred to me, boss, but I had to get off the Groundbreaker first. Hauling boxes was about the only work I could find. Hated every second of it. Foreman and I never got on. Could be I was overreacting. A better man might have turned the other cheek. Exercised a little bit of that, what's the word? Restraint? But on the other hand, broadsiding the jackass with a tossball stick, that felt good. That felt real good. You ought to try it. That's what I like about you, boss. You got a mean swing. I caught a real lucky break. If you hadn't picked me up, I'd still be back at the docks, waiting for the day my ship arrives. That's just crazy talk. You know we'd never have a problem. Thanks for listening, boss. Let's get going.
One more hour before the dockmaster bills me. How many beers can I down, do you think?
CNP pancake mix. Now requires no mixing. Seriously, don't mix it.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Where the hell have you been, Private? You've missed 3 shifts without notice.
I was fixing that toilet you sent me to repair. The one above the Lost Hope.
That was days ago.
The fucking door! It locked behind me. And it wasn't until this freighter captain found me that I...
You're lucky the chief would have my ass if I spaced you. Now get back to work, Private.
Right away, sir.
Keep your wits about you down there. I don't want to clean crispy freelancer bits out of the radiators again. Keep your wits about you down there. I don't want to clean crispy freelancer bits out of the radiators again.
Suppose it's time to reevaluate my career.
Controls are in the back of the machinery shaft area. Keep clear of the radiators. You don't need to kill the caterpillars, but I'd be mighty grateful if you did. I've got this thing about giant insects.
Got it. Heads down.
I love it, bro!
Everyone all right?
Good news? Song tells me the security mechanicals booted up and killed a bunch of mantis. Bad news. Diagnostic says their circuit boards are fused from the heat, so they're not too picky about who they kill next. Sneak past if you can. Shoot back if you need to. I can always fix them later.
Halt! investigate.
Here they come!
Hit him with something else!
Everyone all right?
While performing its
Incoming!
That's the terminal. I have the parts to position on my side. Go ahead and cycle the droplet pumps. And if you don't know what that means, look for the can, okay? Cycle droplet pumps.
Oh no, poor Betty! Try another weapon!
Everyone all right?
Done. The temperatures are dropping. Stop by once you found your way out of there. Groundbreaker owes you thanks.
Groundbreaker's safe from melting to bits now. Lots of good people. Well, I didn't expect her to be so tall. And did you see the size of her arms? Just took off guard, is all. Did you see how everybody on Groundbreaker listens to Junlei? She's just, here's how to fix it. And they trust her. It's just... she's calm and...
Temps are lowering across the station. Anyone outside is getting a hell of a light show from the droplet arrays. Thanks for the help. Let me know if you ever need to borrow a wrench or something. Repairs are holding just fine.
Junlei is about the only thing holding this leaky old wreck together.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Remember Auntie Cleo? Because she remembers you. When you...
My boards are returning to green. What a weight that is off my shoulders. I don't normally tolerate outsiders mucking about in my station's guts, but you're all right. The temperature should be dropping as we speak. I'll see to it the crew knows who kept us all from boiling alive. If you've got time, I believe Edna has a comms issue that could use your attention. I've also authorized Doc and Furu to sell you our premium meds. What can I do for you?
You aiming to send a message? If so, we bet... Well, yeah. The comm center routes all messages within 2... Of course, we're about to go dead, so I may be reappropriated to Our primary relay station's soon to be occluded by a gas giant. Happens every 40 years or thereabouts. The event's forecasted to last for months, during which
For months? Groundbreaker's gotta have some type of fallback, right?
we've got backup auxiliary relays, but the one currently in orbital range went offline some months ago. We can't spare people for Yeah, I'm working on it. I finally got the chief to but allocating the personnel loss for sending a technical team to the relay station... You save my comm center from chaos. I guarantee I'll get the chief to authorize some payment forms with your name on them while you're out fixing the station. We don't know why it went down or if it's even a hardware-related issue. Getting a team out there takes time and money, neither of which we have readily on hand. And we do have multiple auxiliaries, just... If it weren't for the occlusion event I should say no, but why not? Maybe you can figure out why it's offline. I'll send you with an equipment manual. Hopefully we'll get lucky, or I'll get my approval in time.
Hope you don't mind if I borrow that manual when you're done with it, Captain. I could do with some leisure reading.
Oh, and I'll need you to retrieve a copy of the relay's backup data. I gotta forward any messages from Earth stored in the memory. The relay stations orbit the edge of the Halcyon system, so they tend to receive the majority... I'm sure the station's got a stack of junk messages just waiting for... It's not like they're in high demand. Most tend to be adverts on new products, meaning only...
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
Young Millstone, you look pensive.
I don't know what that means, but I've been thinking. It ain't easy carrying a torch for the Rangers.
I understand. The Rangers' victories are your victories. Their defeats are likewise crushing.
You serious? Wow, Max. Never expected you to understand.
This may come as a surprise to you, Felix, but I understand what it is to be a fan.
That's so. You know something? Maybe I was wrong about you.
To be a fan is to cultivate a mental disorder. You're living vicariously through a tossball team.
Nah, I was right the first time. You're a git, Max.
I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I accept.
Good to see you, boss.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I... Forgive me, Captain. I would rather not discuss Alex Hawthorne today. I am feeling... Was there another topic? Captain Hawthorne attached 98.4% of the ship's processes to my computer, thereby giving... I have been programmed to deftly calculate navigation vectors through asteroid fields, while also operating our ship's toasters. Alex also taught me the concept of a personality. He was quite delighted when I crafted one in order to better engage with him. The information in my memory banks says I am an autonomous digital astrogator, created by, redacted, on the day... I have not yet decided if I should attempt to uncover the missing... I asked once. Alex did not build me, and would not say... How can I... What part of the colony would you... We're cleared to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498. Order does not compute. Nevertheless, I will endeavor to execute my current and future tasks without lip. The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been... Of course. What part of the colony? Where in Terra 2? Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, neglect and time, the town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate if something... You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague. Since you diverted power to Edgewater, the botanical lab shut down, and the deserters were forced to return to town. Meanwhile, the cannery's output increased, enabling the town's population to prosper. Thank you for nothing. I cannot say. First, I need to adjust my memory interpretation sensors. How can I... The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate. Mm-hmm. The ship used to be much quieter.
Something on your mind? I'm a surgeon by training and a pirate. Not much else to know, Captain. I like long walks on the promenade and the smell of Spacer's Corona. I make a mean zero-G cocktail and I've got a meaner right hook. Sure do. Some of it was even legal. What gave it away? It's the hair, right? Or maybe the app. Gotta advertise your business. I've done all types of work with all kinds of crews. If there's one thing you ought to know about me, it's that I won't tell you your business. Your ship, your way. Makes two of us. No compl-
Hey, Captain. Can I get your temperature on something real quick? What? No. If it were, I'd be hollering loud enough to wake the dead. So, Junlei and I have been talking some. Through messages, I got him. She sent me a poem. One she wrote her own self, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I should read into it. Because poems are all symbolic and such, right? It's not so good. She rhymed compression alternator with aches to meet her. It's about this engine that's been shaking itself apart. Then this lady mechanic comes by and lays one hand on it. And the trouble goes away. It sings. I don't want to get too hopeful, but I'm wondering if maybe she's the engine and I'm the lady? It's like a metaphor, Captain. I think? See, this is why poetry throws me off my bearings. I don't know where it's leading yet, or if I'm not much interested in physical stuff. Never have been. Leastway's not like other folk. It's been a problem in the past. The folk who wanted to be with me back... Thanks, Captain. That makes me feel... I actually had another message from Junlei. I just couldn't work up the courage to open it. Let's see here. Talking about old friends, got to thinking... Isabel. Who's Isabel? They were... I don't know. Junlei talked about them like it was past, but how far in the past? Captain, I'm feeling all mixed up right now. Could we maybe head to the Groundbreaker? Get some drinks at that bar? Thanks, Captain. I'll be ready. Sometimes I wonder about Mr. Hawthorne. What was he like? Why'd he make the computer a talkie? You think he got lonely?
Welcome back, Captain. How can... Take care.
You see we had a conveyor pull in? One of them interstellar jobs.
Hard to miss something that big. Guess your shuttle bay crews have been working overtime?
Yeah, but they're happy about it. Been 3 months since the last one.
3 months? I thought you said conveyors came in every 2 months.
That was last year. This year's different.
We move cargo 16 hours a half.
Willo's mock apple cider. A hard cider for a hard life.
So, how's this work? Do we get a table? Stand in a corner? Okay, so... Oh, and don't worry on the price. I got this. Well, drunk's what I'm aiming for, so I'll take your word on it. Bottoms up!
Whoa! Easy there, Parvati. Maybe you want to work yourself up to whiskey next time.
Oh! No, it's good. I'm fine. I just didn't expect it to taste like... Oh, propellant. Oh, stars, I can feel it settling. Oh, Captain. I'm pining for June like something fierce. What am I doing? Huh. Yeah. Friends give each other counsel, right? What do you think I should do about Junlei?
You want to know what I think? I think you should write what you want to say down on your hand. Always worked for me.
Well, she talked about another girl, right? Isabel. Mentioned her by name and everything. Maybe I've been making a right fool of myself this whole time. Maybe she's not interested after all. It was real long and rambly. She was telling me a story about her dad, how a lady named Isabel. This Isabel lady never quite managed to get her dad's approval, but they carried on anyways. Made something good out of a bad situation. Then it all went down the tubes. Do you think Junlei still has feelings for her? I just got a lot of feelings, Captain, and they're all climbing up my throat. I need another drink. Right now. No more whiskey. I think another'd leave me on the floor. Gosh, that smells pretty almost. Like flower's gone a little off. Down it goes. Hey, that's not so bad. Kind of almost nice, maybe. Oh, Captain, I want to talk to Junlei all the time. Even about silly things, but I'm so scared. You're swell, Captain, don't get me wrong. I like spending time with you, going on adventures and all, but that ain't the same. Does she think I'm as pretty as I think she's handsome? What if she doesn't like me? What if she does? What if she's still got feelings for that lady, Isabel? What if we get... There's nothing easy about spilling your... You know I'm not interested in physical affection. That's... Well, it's tripped folks up in the past. Folks I thought cared about me. Just move on? Like snapping your fingers? I don't know. But I don't want to be with them. Well, Captain, this has been a whole lot. I got just... Oh gosh, I don't... Okay? Okay, I'm gonna do it! Right when we get back to this shit. Thanks for hearing me out, and giving me counsel. And, well, for
You know something, Parvati? You ought to come drinking with the crew more often.
Huh. All right. Thank you, guys. You're real good friends, you know? Come on, let's go. Oh, everything's a little spinny. Are they supposed to be spinny? Maybe I should sit. Now, where's that floor gone? Come here, you rascal. Oh, dodging ain't fair.
Yeah, boss?
Didn't I request no more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these?
Hey, Captain. I hope I wasn't too much bother at the bar. I did have fun, and I tried some things I never would have otherwise. Though, that whiskey did give my head aching something fierce. Feels like a primal's chewing on my skull. I messaged Junlei when we got back, and she replied super quick. Okay. I reread my message in the morning, and it was unclear. I was drinking when I sent it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the courage. Also, sorry for the time. With the headache I got after that whiskey? I've ruined things in the past because I didn't say things I should have, like, I want to be honest with her. So if she feels the same about... I got to read between the lines a bit, but... I ought to go write her back. I mean, I already did. Twice. I could probably spend years fixing this boat.